Recorded.
No,
Okay.
Venu, I
So
said I have doubt.
you said you have doubts. I did not hear that. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe my internet signal was poor that time. Venu, when we select, sorry, just a second. Yeah. So, what is the criteria for grouping the managers? Because is it on the basis of position? Because it cannot be basis on the basis of department, because every department will have different managers. So,
No.
what is the criteria generally we use in the projects,
Okay.
like as
So
per the client?
you don't have to choose any criteria, or you don't have to group actually. See, when you go to manage permission roles, when you assign
Yes.
a target or a granted group, it don't it need not to be a permission group which we have created. So we have a standard role called manager, which picks up the manager automatically if at least one employee is a direct report for that employee.
Okay.
So that's why if you go and see there, let me show you that. I've shown you the other day as well.
Yes, Venu, yes, you have shown me, and I wanted to ask on that basis, like how system picks up. Is it on the basis of position or like what?
In the
Is it on the
job
basis of
information,
yeah?
you're adding the role. You're adding a person as a manager,
As a
right?
supervisor, right? Like
Yes, as a supervisor or
employee.
manager. Now,
Yeah.
if at
Okay.
least one employee is tagged as a supervisor field in one of the supervisor field, then that employee will be considered as manager.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you go here, the permission roles, groups, there you will find manager.
Yes,
I get
I know.
printing.
Yeah, there's a drop down. There's a manager
That's a,
also.
yeah,
Manager.
grant
Yeah.
role too. Now, instead of
Yeah.
permission group, you're selecting manager, which is a standard role. So these are all standard roles. Manager, matrix manager, HR manager, custom manager, second manager, calibration facilities. Similarly, if I want HR managers, then all the managers, all the employees who are tagged as HR managers in job relationship, those will be considered. Matrix manager, custom manager, second manager, all of these from the job relationship, and this one from the job information supervisor field.
Okay, Venu.
Okay.
And Venu, so if by default, if we check any employee, like if we check the user permission role, and
Mm-hmm.
so that particular employee, any particular employee in an organization should have ESS role assigned to them, right?
Yes.
So I tried to check this EC admin whether she
Mm-hmm.
has the ESS role assigned to her, but she doesn't have. So
Which
and
employee is that? In your test system, or where
SF
exactly?
admin, SF admin, like which I need to proxy as.
SF admin would be same in all the systems. So
Yeah.
let me go back.
And also when I tried to look for the roles assigned to the employee which you have hired and assigned a role yesterday. So it was not showing, maybe some permission issue maybe I have, though I
Okay.
proxy.
You go
Yeah.
to view user permission. So you
Yeah.
said for SF admin, right?
Yeah.
There's no way that this employee will not have any role. System admin is one role, which is
No, no, she has a role, but she doesn't have ESS role.
ESS. Now, if
Yeah.
what is the condition for the ESS, that you need to check. Now let me see. You see here, all employee search and login. This is one role which is added to all employees. And you
Yeah.
see employee self-service role, organization chat navigation. You see here employee self-service. You have employee self-service here. This is ESS,
Okay.
employee self-service.
Which
This is
comes,
just the name, no, what you have named it as. Not, it need not to be always ESS or no employee self-service. It can be anything. It can be only
okay.
employee self or employee self-service or ESS.
So if you go to user permission role, check user permission role
User
on
role
that.
search.
Yeah, user role search. Yeah. And then if you if you search for SF admin now, yeah,
Hmm.
search role. Okay.
Okay, let me search this here. This only for this particular
Oh,
permission,
okay,
all
okay.
of these roles. You see, employee self-service, system admin, PCC, payroll admin, all of these roles are granting this permission.
Okay, so maybe I have checked some other permission category here. Here you specifically selected Employee Central effective dated
Hmm.
entities.
Or employee views, like I want to see which role is granting the compensation view. It shows up these three roles.
Okay, so so the above is permission category and the below is the permission. Okay, so we have to specifically go and check the categories.
Yeah, permission category. See, this is basically you're filtering, what category you want to see. This is what you do in manage permission roles. Like you go to manage permission roles, you have user permissions and then administrator permissions. These are all user permissions, and some of them are administrator permissions. So you're choosing one of the permission category here.
But if I want to check as a whole what permission role has been assigned, so what category should I choose?
What
All.
permission? See, no, you cannot have that because see, maybe one of the permissions, one of the role that the employee is having, you know, let me clear you this way. You have super admin. Now, super admin has got multiple roles, maybe 4 roles or 5 roles.
Okay.
Okay. Now, in these 4 roles, let's say you have ESS, we have system admin, we have HR admin, and so on. This ESS, there are some permissions which are granted, let's say 100. System admin, we have granted 200. And HR admin, we have granted 50 permissions. Now, these 100 may also exist in the system admin also. Maybe 50 of them, which are common in ESS and system admin are there. Or 20
Okay.
from HR admin are also common. So
Okay.
different fields or different actions, no permissions are configured for this super admin in different roles.
Okay.
Okay, now you go to view user search, system will show against each and every field which role is granting the permission.
Okay.
Okay, or if you want to see only one particular action or one particular field, then you go to user role search. So you must have searched in this way, right?
Yes. So bottom it was showing time off or something, but I could not change the category of permission. And
Hmm.
then I tried to check
So
one
when
of
you
your, yeah,
yeah, if you filter, yeah, this is time account all.
yeah, yeah.
You're just searching for the time account. Don't search for time account. Okay, choose at least one permission here.
Okay.
Okay, because the target may be different again. Here you also have target user. SF admin, what SF admin can look at his or her own data. Okay, what
Yeah.
SF admin can look at other employees' data. Now, other employees, when you are defining the target, now if you have a HR admin, okay, so I have 4 HR admins. Okay, I have Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, and Mumbai. So you
Okay.
have 4 different HR admins. Now the permissions are same for all of these employees, all of the 4 HR admins. But in Bangalore, we have, let's say, 5,000 employees, 3,000 employees, 2,000 employees, and 6,000 employees. So total of 16,000 employees. Okay. Now this HR admin can only access Bangalore employees because this is the target. For this HR admin, this is the target. For this HR admin, this is the target. This HR admin, this is the target. For this HR admin, this is the target. Now granted group is this. Okay. So
Yeah.
you assign all the same permissions for all these employees. But when you're defining the target, define that it is their own location employees. If this HR admin is in Bangalore, now he or she can access this 5,000 employees. This is your target.
Okay.
So
So
role is
in
same, group is same. But here, because of the target that we are defining, these people are these people are they are able to access only these employees, only these 5,000 or only these 3,000, because this HR admin belongs to Hyderabad, this HR admin belongs to Chennai, and this HR admin belongs to Mumbai. If this admin is moved to Chennai, then he will not have access to these employees. He will have access to only these 2,000 employees.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So there basically we need to check the permission categories.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So, but as a whole, how many role an employee got for that? So we need
Then
to
you
check each and every permission, and
Yeah,
we need
view
to
user.
see.
View user permission. If you look at view user permission, there you can make out. Now, generally, everybody will be giving some access, right? Either here you can make out how many roles are assigned to this employee.
Okay.
You see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay,
Okay.
these are the 5. Additionally,
Okay.
if there are any other roles, you can also see. So
Okay.
now first few permissions you will come to know how many roles these employees are
Okay. This is the better place, I think, then.
in. Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, because it is giving permissions also, the list of permissions and role.
Yeah. Again, we also have some things on the reporting as well. In the reports also you can pull out what role, but I don't think they are so accurate because we have not generated.
Okay. Like I did not get you. What we have not generated?
Now, we have something on the reporting as well. You go to report, you create a report and extract which employee has got which role.
Okay.
Now, here we have something called RBP user to role, RBP permission roles report.
Okay.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah.
Basically, RBP user to role, permission to user, user to group, permission roles report. But again, now what you want to generate, you should be very clear.
Okay.
Each employee, now if you go and see the view user permission itself, if you'll find more than 10,000 fields or 10,000 actions. Within personal information, you'll find one permission under view, one permission under
Yeah.
history, one permission under correct, one permission delete, and then
Yes.
one permission edit. So one field, you'll find 5 rows or 5 records.
Yes.
One field. Like that, you have around thousands of fields for each employee.
Okay.
Okay. Into your number of roles that you are in. So that's why I said even these roles even these reports may not be that accurate.
Okay. Fine, Venu. But Venu,
Yeah.
can we check the report also, like just when because you said that you will be covering the reporting in the end of the
Yes.
syllabus.
Yes,
So
yes.
that time we can check, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, because it would be good if we get to see that.
yeah,
We'll
sure.
have better understanding. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Or we can move on.
Venu, Venu sir,
Hmm. Right. Sridhar.
sir, I need small information. I want
Hmm.
to go for combined studies or combined practice. Anybody is available for that? Why? Because I am working last 14 years on as a core H operation.
Okay.
I want
Mm-hmm.
to go. I want SAP. That's why I'm going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you may
Anybody?
speak to Satish on that. You can check with Satish. If anybody else is interested, yeah, yeah, he will group you and you can work with him.
Okay. Why?
Because
Because
I don't have. Yeah, Satish or
that's why.
Ravi. These are the two people who would be dealing all these things, giving
Okay.
access, communicating with all of you.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Let's move on to today's topic. So today we'll be looking at workflows. What are workflows? Workflows are nothing but approvals. Workflows are nothing but the approvals. Now these approvals can be set up for any process in the system. Okay, it can be on the events like when you hire, when you transfer, or when you promote, or when you terminate, or it can be a change in the personal information where it is not associated with any events. Okay, or it can be a creation of an object. So when you create a position or when you create a department, if you want a workflow to be triggered, you can also configure workflow there. Okay, workflows are the approvals, and these approvals can be of any number of steps. Now, sometimes you will see only one level of approval. Sometimes you'll see 2 levels, 3 levels, or no 4 steps of approval, or 10 steps of approval, or no 8 steps of approval. Or sometimes without approval, you just want to have CC notification. That is also possible. So there is no limitation that you should only have these many levels of approvals. You can configure any number of levels of approvals in the system. Okay, basically when somebody initiates a record, a change in the record, that though now they are called initiators. Okay, now the initiator can be either a HR manager or a HR operations or HR executive or a manager, or sometimes it can be user himself or herself, like the employee himself or herself. Anybody can be initiator. Now when I change my employee data, I am the initiator. It's my own data. When a transfer is initiated for me, either my manager or my HR would be initiating that. So they are called the initiators. Now, who can be your approvals? When defining the approvals, you can define a role as an approver, not a person. And we'll be defining these workflows per process, but not per employee. Meaning, if you are creating a workflow, that workflow is for either transfer or promotion, but not for one single employee. You cannot say that this workflow I've created for this employee, this workflow is for this employee. No, it is for the overall process. It is for the overall process that you add the workflow for. Okay, so when you create a workflow, tag it to your transfer process. That means every time you you transfer any employee in the organization, it takes the same route. Like if manager is the approver, today if I initiate for Venu, it goes to Venu's manager. Tomorrow if I initiate transfer for Priya, it goes to Priya's manager. So it is per process and not per person. Okay, so it can be a role, like it can be a manager, or it can be a manager's manager, or it can be HR, or it can be matrix manager. You can select any of the roles. Okay, so first say a role, or I'll add here first level of approval. Now let's take a simple example where I want to transfer an employee. Transfer employee. So I want to transfer, let me take your names. Let's say I want to transfer Sridhar. Sridhar is reporting to Rafi, and Rafi is reporting to Lakshman, and Sridhar is in Bangalore, and Sridhar would be moved to Mumbai. Okay, there may be a possibility that when Sridhar is moved to Mumbai, Sridhar would be reporting to Priya there, and Priya is, let's say Priya is reporting to Jeevita. Now who is Rafi? Rafi is the source manager here, right? And Lakshman is source manager's manager, right? Priya is a target manager, and Jeevita is target manager's manager or second level manager. Okay, now first level of approval, I want to have manager approving the request. Now what is a manager? Manager is a role. Now you need to tell the system which manager do you want to send this approval to. Is it the source manager or is it the target manager? So if I say context, that is called context. Context as source. If I select the context as source, it goes to Rafi here. Okay, because I'm initiating a transfer for Sridhar, so it goes to, as per my configuration, the first step of approval is to be done by manager, and the context here is source, so it goes to Rafi. Second level of approval. Again, this is manager's manager. This is also a role. And context source. That is, it goes to Lakshman. The third level of approval. Again, it is role, but here it is the target. So it goes to Priya here. So you can define any of these levels. Okay, you can have fourth level as manager's manager, the target manager. So if you are moving this employee from Bangalore to Mumbai, the system will see who is the manager tagged now and who would be the manager in the target location. So system will pick that details. Now today if I am initiating it for Sridhar, it is going to Rafi. If I transfer Rafi, then it goes to Lakshman here. In this case, it goes to Lakshman. And here, it goes to Lakshman's manager. So if I transfer Priya here, it goes to Priya's manager in the first step. So it always picks up the manager from the job information, supervisor field of job info. Okay, so that's your role. So you can have role as a manager, manager's manager, or HR manager. It can be anything. Okay, it can also be HR manager as well. Now you can also have, let's say fourth level, can also have position as the approver. You cannot have a person as the approver, because once the person leaves the organization, it will skip that person. So you will not have option to choose a person as the approver in the approvals. Instead of person, you can choose a position. a HR manager position or HR director position or finance head position. Now, if you select a position, if some X leaves that position and if Y occupies the position, so it goes to Y. So earlier it was going to X. Now X has left the organization, Y has joined or Y has occupied that position, so it goes to Y. Tomorrow Y moves to a different position, Z joins or Z assigned with that position, it goes to Z. Okay, so you can choose a position. So these are simple. You can choose role, just say what is that role. And then you have dynamic group. Dynamic group meaning you create a group which is similar to your permission groups. These are the workflow groups are similar to permission group. You create a group and add some people, maybe 4 people. Add a group. You create a group, add 4 people. Now add these 4 people here in the dynamic group. It goes to all the 4 people there. And if one of them approves from that group, this step would be approved. Here, 4th step or 4th level of approval, let's say I want to have a dynamic group. Add all the people whom do you want to approve and add that group to the workflow. So here it goes to all the 4 people, and if one of them approves, the request would be approved. Next step, you have dynamic role. Dynamic role is a foundation object. In the dynamic role, you have dynamic role assignments like your company, business unit, division, department, job code, pay grade, location, event reason. So these are some of your dynamic role assignments. Now, sometimes the approvals are based on the objects or the combination of object. Like if I have 4 different locations, Mumbai and Chennai. Now for Hyderabad, X is the approver. Bangalore, Y is the approver. Z is the approver and C is the approver. Now, if I am initiating a transfer for an employee who belongs to Hyderabad, X should be approving the request. If the same transfer, if I am initiating for Bangalore employee, it should go to Y. Instead of X, it should go to Y. Employee belongs to Mumbai, it should go to Z. And employee belongs to Chennai, it should go to C. So in the dynamic role, I will configure these 4 people and it would be going to one of the 4 people, not to all of them. In the dynamic group, it goes to all the 4 people. Here, it goes to one of the person. Now here, Sridhar belongs to Bangalore, so it goes to Y for approval. So it chooses the approval dynamically. Now this is location based. Now it can be a department based or division based or business unit based or company based, or it can be the combination of one or more objects, like a company X and Hyderabad goes to X, company Y and Hyderabad, it goes to someone else. So you can also have the combination. So you can choose the dynamic roles also. Now this dynamic group can also be added. Now let's say I want to have dynamic group here. Within dynamic role, you can also have dynamic group. So if it is Chennai, it goes to all the 4 people here. Okay. So these are the possible ways of adding the approvers in the workflow. Okay. Any doubts here?
Venu, in first example, like first level, second level approval, third level approval is mentioned. Let's say in real time, let's say an employee has raised a request and workflow has been triggered, and it has entries first level manager, and it is lying over there in his notification. And all of a sudden, it has next day what happened is like that guy has been transferred with that same position. He's no more, he's manager now. So in that case, it will automatically trigger to the next person,
No,
or he has
it
to
won't move.
again initiate it.
Once the workflow is initiated, it would be with that person. You're changing
Okay.
now at the time of initiation, whoever is the approver, it goes to that person.
Yeah, but now that approver has been changed now. So we again he has to initiate it. Employee has to initiate again, or else it will. Is there any facility that it
Now you
goes
can
to
move.
the?
If you don't want a person to approve, you can move it to the next person.
So there is no need of again the initiation from the initiator.
No, you don't have to.
Okay.
Also, when adding the approval, you will also have option to choose the relationship to approver. Now, here I said manager. Whose manager? Is it initiator's manager or employee's manager? What is the relationship to the approver? Now, I said it should go to manager. Whether it should go to Sridhar's manager or initiator's manager, because I am initiating the request. Do you want Venu's manager to be a part of this approval? So you need to choose relationship to the approver, either initiator or employee. So basically, workflow contains four different sections. First one is workflow configuration, where you add the workflow ID, workflow name, your workflow description, and then reminding days. Reminding days meaning now first when the request is initiated, it goes to manager. Manager receives a notification. Manager will be getting a notification over email. To approve the request. So if I have set the reminding days are for 3 days, if manager has not approved for 3 days, it sends a reminder notification. After 3 days, again it sends a reminder notification. So every 3 days, it keeps sending the reminder notification. And then we also have no approver behavior at each step. No approver behavior. No approver behavior can be skip or stop. Now, if I choose skip after first reminders, if manager has not approved, it goes to second level. It skips this step. If I say stop, every 3 days, manager would be getting the notification email saying that this person's transfer request is with you, you need to approve. So that's your reminding days. You can also choose whether to delegate the request or not. This is at the workflow configuration. Reminding days is for the entire workflow. Here it will search, here it will wait for 3 days, here it will wait for 3 days, here it will wait for 3 days. Okay, delegate, anybody can choose. Now the request has come to me, I can move it to someone else if I have the option of delegate. If I enable delegate for this workflow, the approver can move the request to some other person. Request has come to me, I don't want to approve this request, I want somebody else to approve this request, so I can move it to the other person. So that is delegate. You can also have escalation. Now, what if this manager is not approving? How many days you want to see? So after certain days, certain number of days, I want this to be escalated. You can configure, you can also configure escalation. Escalation is again a generic object. You need to create it in the managed data. And then lastly, you also have redirect CC users to workflow approval page. It can be either yes or no, where when you choose that yes, system will send the notification, and then in that notification you will find a hyperlink where you go click on that link. From the Outlook, it takes you to SuccessFactors page, and within SuccessFactors page, it will take you to workflow page of SuccessFactors. Second is approvals, defining the approvals or approvers. So these are the approvers, and in the approvals, you can select what role is it, whether it is a role or a dynamic role or a group or position relationship. And then context, we can have source or target. And then relationship to the approval, it can be either employee or initiator. And if you have set no approver behavior, then either it is skip or stop. Third section is your contributors. Now you can have some people as the contributors. You can have some people as the contributors. Now these contributors will only add some information to the workflow. They will not approve or they will not reject. They will only contribute some information. Now let's say it is with Rafi. Rafi would like to know about this transfer request. Maybe whether this employee will be paid some additional amount, or whether this employee will be the designation will be changed, or maybe some information that Rafi would like to know. So Rafi will post the comments, it goes to contributors, and contributor will reply that. Okay, they will only either add some details. So contributor can be anything, anyone. It can be again a person or a position or a dynamic role or dynamic group. You can choose anything. And the fourth section we have is the CC role, carbon copy. So after all these approvals are completed, after the fifth level of approval, system sends a notification to the people whom you have configured in CC role. It can be employee, it can be the initiator. It will always send email to the initiator that at each stage system sends the notification to the initiator. If I have initiated, I will get notification once the first level approval is completed, second level approval. So after each level, I'll get the notification. But CC role, if I have added employee or some department head or some business unit head or some external email also, you can also add some external email. So once you add, so system will send the notification to those people. So that's your CC role. So to add or to configure the workflows in system, the first step is to, if you have escalate, so you go and create it in manage data. If you want to use escalation. Second step, you go create dynamic group, manage workflow groups. This is to create dynamic group. Third step is under manage org pay and job structure. Here you define dynamic role. And fourth step, same thing, manage organization pay and job. You add your workflow. These are the 4 steps. So if you don't have work group, you can exclude this. If you don't have dynamic role, you can exclude this. If you don't have escalation, you can exclude this. You can directly go to manage organization pay and job structure and configure the workflow. Okay. Any doubts here before we go and create all these things?
No, Venu.
No doubts? Okay.
When you source manager is
Yes.
a reporting manager of that employee, but who is target manager of
Yes.
that employee?
Now, if this employee is being moved from Bangalore to Mumbai, Bangalore is source location, Mumbai is target location. So in this, sometimes the target manager would be different. Because the employees move to a different location, there he or she might be reporting to a different manager. So that is target manager.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. New manager means new reporting manager.
New manager. Yes.
Okay.
If there is a change in the manager.
Otherwise, it will remain same.
Yeah.
Who will be the matrix manager here?
Matrix manager, again, if you have maintained a matrix manager in the job relationship. So the regular manager will be maintained in job information supervisor field. If you have matrix manager, then that's the additional relationship. You have to maintain that in the job relationship of each employee. So you can also choose matrix manager here. If you have matrix manager in job relationship, then system chooses that manager. Okay. Now let's go to first step, which is manage data and have the escalation created. So sorry.
Venu, what happens after if we have set up a reminding days for 3 days and system sends a notification, but manager doesn't take any action?
Yeah. Now again, what have you defined in the no approval behavior? Is it skip or stop? If it is skip,
Okay, okay,
it skips to next level. If it is
okay,
stop, it keeps reminding you every 3 days.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wipro escalation. Now, not be able to see the escalation. Current approve from current approver, it goes to manager, or it goes to manager's manager, or it goes to HR of that manager, or no HR of that approver. You can choose. I will say 6 days and say. You can also add. Now, if you want to have next level approve, next level escalation after 10 days as manager's manager. Okay. Even after 6 days, it goes to approver's manager. If manager is not taking any action there, then again after 10 days it goes to manager's manager. So you can choose this one. Okay. And the next step is dynamic group. Manage workflow group. Go to manage workflow groups, then create your own group. Wipro workflow group. What is the category? I want to add 3 people or 4 people. Just say choose user. Which user? Say John. I'll choose someone with Elizabeth Roberts, Jennifer Harris, Activities. Okay. Update 4 people. It goes to all of these 4 people. And if one of them approves, now it goes to all the 4 people. Workflow goes to all the 4 people. If one of them approves, if Jennifer approves, it moves to next step. You don't, need not to be all the approvals be approving. It moves to the next level if any one of them approves the request. Third step, manage organization pay, which is dynamic role. Go to dynamic role. If you remember, we have now left with 2 objects, dynamic role and workflow, that we are using now. Dynamic role ID, Wipro dynamic role. Now these are all dynamic role assignments. Job classification, department, division, location, legal entity, business unit, cost center, pay grade, pay group, event reason. Can be anything. I'll go choose Wipro Bangalore, Wipro Hyderabad, Wipro Mumbai. For all of these 3 locations, I'll add the approver types here. Approver type can be a person, dynamic group, or position here. Okay. I'll again choose a different person here. John Rufford. And this one I have already chosen. Cinder. Jen Spear. Then okay. So I've added 4 people here. Now, as per this dynamic role, if the employee belongs to Bangalore, it goes for this person. If the employee belongs to Hyderabad, it goes to Mark. And if employee belongs to Mumbai, it goes to Jens. And we also have the 4th person here. And I have not chosen any location, meaning any employee who doesn't belongs to these 3 groups, these 3 locations, it goes to Sam. If I'm initiating a transfer for one of the employee, maybe the location is not maintained or some other location is maintained for that employee. So it goes to Sam in such case. So it goes to one of these persons, only one of these person, either John or Mark or Jens or Sam. Clear? Now it can also be the combination of one or more objects like legal entity and location or business unit and location or legal entity, business unit and location. So it keeps on increasing the number. Okay. And then workflow. Workflow, first section is your workflow configuration. Second step is defining the approvers. Third step is contributors. And 4th is your CC role. You go to workflow ID and say Wipro transfer. Wipro transfer workflow. Okay. Remind in days, I'll say 2. So after every 2 days, system will remind the approval if manager or if the approver has not approved. Is delegate supported? Yes or no? Yes, I want delegate. Alternate workflow, if you want user to choose the alternate workflow, you can choose the existing workflows. Okay, I'll leave it as it is. Escalation, I have created an escalation, workflow escalation, so I'll add that. Redirect CC users to workflow approval page. Again, this one, system will send a hyperlink in the CC notification and system people will be receiving the notification, and in the notification, when they click on the hyperlink, it takes you to the workflow page. Okay. Step 1, it can be a role, dynamic group, position or position relationship. So first is role. And what role is it? Now you see here, once I select a role or what the approver type, you have the second step. You choose Again, role, you have the third step. It keep on increasing the steps. Now, first approval, it can be self, can be manager, manager's manager, employee HR, matrix manager, custom manager, second manager. You can choose any of these roles. Let's say manager. Context is source or target. Edit transaction. When the request goes to manager, will manager be able to change anything on the data? Like I have transferred an employee from one location to other location. If I give manager option to edit the data, edit without change. So manager will be able to change the data. Again, you can go to job information, change some other data in the workflow itself. Edit without change,
When of this
manager can change the data. Along with the data, they can also change a different workflow if you have selected. Just go ahead, Debashish.
This drop down will come by default or we have to configure it?
No, you don't have to configure anything. All of these are default.
These are standards, right?
Now, what is a workflow? Workflow is a foundation object. Where are these defined? These are defined in corporate data model. Okay. So these are all standard. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to add anything. Okay. Escalation. Sometimes you may not see. Not all customers uses escalation. So if your customer want to add escalation field in the workflow configuration, then you'll have to go to corporate data model, enable the escalation. Escalation standard system gives you the escalation. Standard data model gives you the escalation option. There you need to go and enable the option in the workflow config. Okay. So you
So
have
by default it is not not on, not
no
enabled.
escalation is not enabled. If required,
Okay.
you need to enable it.
And okay. And what about the delegate support and then reminding days?
So these things are enabled by default.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Edit without route change. Manager can change the data, but not the route. Manager can only edit the attachment. You can choose one of the option. No approver behavior, either skip or stop. Relationship to approver, employee or initiator. We also have respect permission, yes or no. No, what if initiator has changed 3 fields on the job information and manager has got access to only 1 field? The other 2 fields manager doesn't have any permission. So if I say respect permission yes, manager will only see 1 field. Manager will not see 2 fields in the workflow page. If I say respect permission no, even if manager doesn't have permission, he or she can still see all the 3 fields, whatever data that we have changed. Workflow email configuration, we have a standard emails which system sends, and these emails can be configured. Okay, you can change the content, you can add more content to it. Okay, and in some cases you might want to have a custom email configuration, then you go with the workflow email configuration. Otherwise you can leave it as it is. System sends the standard notifications. I'll show you, where to configure that. Okay, role, second step, manager's manager, context is source. I'll choose some other option. Third is dynamic role. Again, I'll say manager. Here I'll select target and I'll say edit attachment only. Here I'll select stop the workflow. Okay, and here I'll say respect permission yes. Dynamic role, dynamic group, you can choose dynamic role. Wipro dynamic role, you choose dynamic group, have Wipro group. You also select a position. Okay, a position, I need some position where you have some employee. So I'll go add one position as well. Go to org chart, position org chart. Okay, so here let me choose this person or this person, this position. I'm choosing the position here. Just add position. You can also choose position relationship, but 6 steps is fine. Contributor role, if you want to add maybe a person, let's say I'll choose Magali. Okay, CC role, you want CC role, self. You want any external email, you can also configure external email. So if you want to add somebody's email, you can go add the email. They will be receiving the notification. Okay, say safe. This is one workflow, which is transfer. Next workflow, I'll create with only one step approval maybe. Pro underscore promotion. I'll have here role only manager. Okay, is delegate supported? Yes. Save. And I will have one more workflow. Pro underscore transfer manager. Here, I'll select role, manager, source, select role, manager, target. Simple. Okay.
For remind-in days and for escalation, we need to set up a job, right, in provisioning.
Yes.
Or
Is
okay.
delegate supported? Yes. Same. Now for the first workflow, I'll change a little bit. Transfer flow. I've created 3 workflows now. Okay. Here, just remove this step, target step. Okay. Just add only these things. Because the other workflow we have the source and target, but here I have not added any target. Now, what is this workflow for? I've created 3 workflows, right? And what is this workflow for?
Transfer approval.
Transfer. Okay. So can I use this for demotion? Can I
No.
use this for termination? Why?
No.
No,
Why cannot?
because
No, you
we are
can use, but the
for
name is
transfer only.
different. So users will be
Sorry?
confused. I mean, the name of the workflow is different, so that's why user will be confused.
Hmm.
And also there is a
So
source and
workflow,
target is the same.
yeah, it is not depending on the name of the workflow. Just because I have added it as transfer doesn't mean that I can only use it for transfer. I can
Yeah.
use this workflow for anything. It can be name, let's say I have added the name as Wipro 001, Wipro 002. I have created 10 Wipro 001, 2, 3, 4 and till 10. Right. So it can be used now where you have no generic workflow where you want to use the same workflow for multiple processes. Maybe a manager. Okay. Wipro, let's say it goes only to a manager or 2 level with manager and manager. So you can add that content in the workflow name just to understand that it is going to, it is a 2-step process or it is 3-step process or it is only 1-step manager process. Now how to trigger these workflows we'll see in tomorrow's session. Not tomorrow, tomorrow we'll start with the business rule. Maybe after 2 days we'll see how to trigger the workflows. Okay.
But where are you defining that this workflow will be applicable for that kind of such particular action? Have you
Sorry?
defined where?
No, I have not defined anywhere. So that's why I said, right? You can use this workflow for any process.
No, for any means n number of process, n number of action.
No, you want to have it, no, for personal information change, you can have this. You want to have this for address information change, you can have it.
But where we defining it?
That is defined in the business rule.
Okay.
But we are yet to define. So that's what I said, right?
Yes.
We'll be looking at that.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Right.
Venu,
Hmm.
you do like while lecturing, like you told that escalation is a generic object, right?
Hmm.
So, we have to create. If it is not there, then if let's say it's not there, while creating generic objects, will there be any dependent objects or like how to do that?
So generic objects, where are they defined?
In configure object.
Configure object definition. All those things what you see in manage data, you'll find it here. You have escalation detail here, which is the association for this. You have escalation name, escalation code, only these two fields here. Now you go to escalation detail, you'll find more information. Like, because there you have two different sections. Within escalation, you have two different sections. So here, the step number, you have escalate a route from escalate target.
Okay. Here data type.
Escalation after this.
Where it is mentioned as like a generic todo category is generic object. When
Which
I
to do
tried to
category?
create location, see here to do category generic object change request it is there. No? So like that, where is generic object maintained, like in data type or like where it is mentioned?
No. Generic object, if you're adding a particular generic object in one of the portlet or in one of the object, let's say department is a MDF object. Within department, if you want to add some generic object, you can add. You can add it either as an association or you can add it as a field itself. So you need to tag that to the data type called generic object. But
When
escalation itself is a generic object. You are just adding the details on the escalation, so which is maintained under managed data.
So when we are like, let's say for example, location is there. Location, when we take it as a generic object,
Location is not a generic object. Location is a foundation object.
yeah, foundation object. But when we are creating a custom object like that, and you have selected a generic object as the type of it, then it is asking for a dependable target or something kind of that message was popping up.
Reference you need to give. See, if I want to add location as a object here into this field, okay, in one of the fields you want to add a location. So here you need to select something called foundation object. And if it is foundation object, then valid value source you need to add the ID of the object. Now foundation object, there are many foundation object. Which foundation object you want to use? This is the ID of the foundation object that I want to refer.
So here,
Or if it is a generic object, now I want to use a generic object. Then what is that generic object? Is it division, or is it department, or is it company, or a legal entity, or what is it? You need to define it in valid value source. We'll talk more about these things in custom object. When you create a custom object, I'll show you all these things.
Okay.
Sir,
Hmm.
What if, how can we include custom roles in this? So
How
what
can
if
we
you have a
include?
what if we want to, what if we want to have a custom role in this approval process? So how do we include that?
What custom role
Like
is
for
it?
example, in route, yeah, see, for example, in PM forms and all that, in route maps, we can include a custom role, right,
Roadmap
in the
is
approval pro.
roadmap is different. Workflow is different.
Yeah, so in this workflow, we would not be able to include any custom roles.
No, where is that custom role? Now, the relationship is to be added. Now, let's say
Hmm.
for you, manager is maintained in job information.
Okay.
Okay. Matrix manager, HR manager, custom manager, these additional relationships, these are maintained in job relationship. Like this, where are you maintaining that custom role? Now, let's say for you, I want some person to be approving. Who is that some person? How is that person related with you? Right? Jeevita's approval, I want Venu to be approving. I cannot add a
Okay.
person as the approver. Now, there should be some relation between Jeevita and Venu. Where is that relationship maintained? Maybe Venu is a manager. So Venu would show up in the job information supervisor field. Maybe Venu is a matrix manager. So it is there in the job relationship. Maybe Venu is a HR manager. It is in the job relationship. So you need to define somewhere that this person is related to this person. Otherwise, how will system identify what is that custom role and where is that custom role built?
Okay. Okay, sir. So because I'll just tell you one scenario. So basically, for one of the clients, it so
Hmm.
happened that they didn't wanted the HR to approve one in the PM forms. So
Hmm.
they didn't want to do
Now
it. So they
see,
wanted us to
PM
create
form,
a custom role. So
yeah, PM form it is completely different. So you will be doing it in the manage
huh,
roadmap. So you have
yes.
something
So
called
if in
manage
this
roadmap.
case,
Hmm.
yes, in this case, if at all if the client wants us, like they don't want the manager or anyone to do that, but they
Hmm.
want another, like an individual, like who doesn't have any relationship, like we're creating a role, or like a
Hmm.
user, okay, a user, and we want
Hmm.
that user to be a part of this workflow. Is that
Okay.
possible?
Yeah.
Like
Now
a
here
user. I'm
step
talking
man
about a user, not forget about role.
user. Okay. Now here fourth step. Now first step it goes to employee. From employee it goes to manager.
Hmm.
Manager will pass it to
Yeah.
again manager. And then fourth step you have user. What user is it? You go select. Now these are the standard roles that you have. You have a custom, or you want to choose a custom role. What role is it? Or if it is a user, go choose which user is it. Now here I have
Yes.
chosen Anya Singh as a user. So you will be using roadmap for the performance, the template level. Now these workflows are used at the employee central level, and wherever we use a template like PMGM, we have appraisal template.
Yes.
Appraisal template. Okay. For recruiting, we have requisition template. For comp, we have comp planning template. So wherever you use a template, it is always the roadmap. It is not the workflow. The
Okay.
functionality of roadmap is different and functionality of workflow is different.
Okay.
Roadmap is
So
different and
I'm
workflow is different. Now
yes,
here in the
but in
roadmap,
this
what is
workflow,
happening? You are moving the entire
huh,
form from one person to the other person. Now the form can be moved
yes.
back and forth there.
Hmm.
Now go ahead.
No, but in this, like in the workflow I'm talking about, like
Hmm.
in the workflow, if you want, like they don't want, like what we have in the drop down, what we saw manager, managers manager, matrix manager, HR manager, right? So
Hmm.
if we want to add, like how we have, like how we added over here, we had a custom role, right? In the roles we had custom user, then HR manager, managers manager, like that. In this workflow, will can we have that option, or is it like whatever is there now, that is what it is? There's
No,
nothing custom.
there is nothing custom. You go to job relationship.
Okay, so
The only way what you can do
huh,
is you whatever relationship that you want to tag with this person. Now for Lakshman, I want to have the job relationship. What is that job relationship? Maybe here I have additional manager. I have here matrix manager, HR manager. I have here matrix manager. Now these people, maybe I've added John as a HR manager. Okay. And here Sarah as a matrix manager. And here Mary as the additional manager. So now here, all of these three people are related with Lakshman as an
Okay.
additional manager, as a HR manager, or as matrix manager. Now you can choose one of these roles as the approval in the workflow. So if you say HR manager, system will go find who is the HR manager for Lakshman. It will go to job relationship. It will find the person. So that relation should be existing here.
Okay.
For each and every employee, it should be there. Otherwise, if
Okay.
this is
So,
not now I've maintained only for Lakshman, I have not maintained for Jivita. So when I transfer Jivita, this step will be skipped because for you system could not find the relationship called maybe additional manager. If additional manager is not maintained for Jivita, that particular step will be skipped. Now when I initiate transfer process for all the other employees where the additional manager is maintained, there are 5 steps. And but for you, because this person is not maintained, additional manager is not maintained, for you it is only 4 levels of approval.
okay, sir. Okay. Got it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So we stop it here and we'll continue tomorrow.
Thank you,
Okay.
Manu sir. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you and bye.